Hello everyone, in today's video we will see how to scrape Google Jobs results using Python and SerpApi. First, sign up for free at serpapi.com. After activating your account from your dashboard, you can copy your API key, then create a new .env file to store this key like this. For the main program, we will create an empty main.py file. Moving to the terminal or command prompt, we need to install two packages. First, Python.env, and second, SerpApi library itself. Back to our text editor, we import the OS module to read the env file, as well as load the package. And then we assign a new variable called API key to get our API key from the env file itself. Next, import the SerpApi library. Then create a new client from SerpApi instance using serpapi.client, and then assign the API key as parameter. Let's use the search method with this parameter. First, the engine is Google Jobs, and then the job we want to look for, in this case is programmer, and then the location. It's recommended to add precise location like the city name here, and then we can print the results. From the terminal, let's run the program. Now we can see the nice JSON response, including the jobs results array, which include the jobs listing from the Google Jobs site. Let's try to print only the list of these job results. I will use a for in loop here and take only the job results from the results variable. Print the job ID, title, company name, location. We also have job highlights for other information for this job. We can save this in a variable and then try to loop this highlight and see what the highlight looks like. And last but not least, let's separate it in a nice line like this. Let's try to run the program. Now we can see the job ID, title, the company name, location, and then the highlights. Highlights can include key value pair of title and items, but sometimes the highlights only has an item but not the title. Now let's check how many results we got per query. Here we can see we got around 10 results per page, but we can get more results by playing with the start parameter for the pagination. By default, the start is 0 since we start from the first item, which means it's the first page. And for the second page, we can start with 10, then the third page with 20, and so on. Let's see how we can do this programmatically. I will create a new variable called start to make the start value dynamic. And then while it's true, we will run this search. But now instead, I will make the start coming from the dynamic variable. And we might pick another job here, let's say neuroscientist. And to make sure our program will stop at certain point, we will create if conditional. If the job results is not in the key of the results variable anymore, we can break the program, but before that we can also say no more results or no more job here. And don't forget to increase the start parameter by 10. Let's run the program. In this program, I'm just printing out the amount of results I get per page, and it's stopped around at the 5th or 6th page. We already see no more results printed here. It's a sign that we already out of results. So this is how we can paginate through all the jobs results. When performing a search directly in the Google Jobs website, we can see there are several filters that we can apply. For example, the date posted, or maybe the type of the job. We can achieve this using SerpApi with chips parameter. For this, I will return our code to the basic search like this, and then print our previous result, but this time I will opt out for the job ID, since the job ID is pretty long and we don't need it for this section. Now I'll add the chips parameter and using date posted month. By the way, if you are curious where I get this chips value, you can take a look at the live Google Jobs URL. There is value here in the URL called HTI chips. We can take this key value pair and turn it into our value in the chips parameter. So here, for example, I'm looking for all the programmer jobs in New York for the last month. And to make sure this filter is working, I need to print two things. First, the extensions, and second, there is also detected extensions value in the JSON. And as you can see, here is the extension as well as the detected extension. We can see all the jobs we are having right now is posted maximum for this month. Let's say I want to also filter these results by the job type, which is part-time. I will take a look again in the URL. Here I found the HTI chips parameter. I will copy the employment type part-time here, and then into our code, separate the first chips parameter with the second by comma, and then change the semicolon into a normal colon like this. Let's run the program again. And now you'll see all the results will include part-time in the extension here. When we click through each of the item here, actually there are more information than we have now, like the typical pay, rating, the applications link, and so on. For this, we have a separate API called Google Job Listing Results API. You can expect all the available information from this single job. But to use this, we need to get the job ID first. So I will print one of the job ID again, but now without all the chips. Once I have one of the ID, let's say I take this last item ID, we will change the engine from the Google Jobs to Google Jobs Listing, since this is a different API. And now for the queue, we are going to pass the job ID. Now instead of looping it like before, we are going to just see what the results is. Here is what the Google Jobs Listing API returns. So we have all the salaries detail here, or the typical pay, the apply options. So if you need the links where people can apply, you can use this apply options response here.